I'm the metal voice once again. You know, Alan, this is happening a lot now.
We're,
This is like it's
we might be a
crazy.
little late on this, Jim.
It's crazy. And live, Les Binks has passed away, confirmed from multiple sources just now. James Leslie Binks, born in July 1951. Again, the date of his passing is not 100% known. Between March 15th and today, he was a Northern Irish heavy metal drummer, most known for playing in Judas Priest from 1977 to 1979. Um, there was a post in Portdown in the city of Portdown. There's a funeral listing. We weren't quite sure if it was actually this Les Binks or another Les Binks. It's common, right? But I'll read the obituary. It was posted about 9 hours ago. James Les Binks died peacefully at a hospital in London, formerly of Paddington, that's in Ireland. Dearly loved brother of Stefan, Movin, Irene, and the late Tamara, Ann, and Carol. The funeral is strictly private, so they want to be super private. No flowers, please. Donations, if desired, payable at the Chest and Heart and Stroke Association. Care of Alan Ray and company at the funeral directors, the old meeting house. So that's 24A Port Dole Street. I won't give the address and all that because they do want this, be held privately. We did interview him, Alan. We had like a wonderful interview with him a few years ago. You remember that?
Yeah, yeah. And it was a question. He was had a wrist injury, and was he in KK's Priest? Was he not in KK's Priest at that time? But what I took away from that interview was just the amount of comments that he was such a influential drummer.
Yeah.
And of course, we here in North America, at our age, we might have tuned in only on Screaming for Vengeance, maybe British Steel. And, Les Binks was just one of a Spinal Tap-esque revolving door of drummers for Judas Priest. But going back and listening to Killing Machine and a few of the albums he played on, I mean, I just love a drummer that uses his cymbals, that hits, like Phil Rudd, man, on Black and Black. That's perfect use of the cymbals for me. And Les was one of those types of drummers. So going back and revisiting his drumming after we interviewed him, and I can understand all the comments that came out at that time. So
good news was, if there's any good news, he was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2022 with Judas Priest and KK Downing. He did a 3-song set with Judas Priest on stage. So that's a little bit of an honor there, right? The legacy is there. He did co-write Beyond the Realms of Death on Stained Class, which is probably one of the most adored Judas Priest or legendary song of Judas Priest. I mean, what do you want to? Is it one of your favorites?
No, I wouldn't say one of my favorites, but definitely a great song. Yeah.
To me, it's one of my favorites, Alan. It is just something dark and sad about it, melancholy about it. It's just if there was ever a slow song power ballad, that would be the one by Judas Priest.
That's a great song. I'm not taking anything away from it, that's for sure.
I'm disappointed in you, Alan.
Is that one of your favorite songs?
It is mine. It is mine.
Probably like 40 years or 50 years of catalog there, Jim.
Yeah. I mean, what else can I say about him? He joined during a Sin After Sin, the tour. He played drums. They went in the studio. They did Stained Glass. He did tell us about how he opened for Rush, but he was always affected by not being sort of signed to the record deal, not being part of the band in that sense. So when they recorded Unleashed in the East, as he told us in the interview, they didn't even tell him about it.
No,
they didn't even tell him about it. They just
I don't think he mentioned he didn't get any royalties from that either.
He didn't get any royalties. He was a hard gun, and he didn't like it. And that's kind of why he decided, you know what, that's it. I'm leaving this band unless you guys pay me what I'm worth. And he was worth. He could have been the drummer, right? Just so everybody knows that he did join KK's Priest. It was a one-off at the KK Steel Mill. He was there. He played the first show that KK played, or one of the first shows. It was supposed to just be a one-off. he hurt his wrist, like you mentioned at the beginning of the show. So he told KK and the band, listen, guys, get another drummer. His wrist healed, but by then, things have already moving in the KK's priest camp. And COVID, that's when he spoke to us. And at the end of COVID, maybe 2023, we had a great interview. If you want to check that out, please. What do you want to say? I cut you off.
No, it's just unfortunately we're doing these shows way too often. But you also see guys like John Fogerty and Randy Bachman out there touring in their 80s or soon to be 80. For John Fogerty's case, he's going to be playing at Beacon Theater on his birthday. So, and Randy Bachman, hopefully, we'll be seeing him at the beginning of May. So, again, everybody's getting older. And unfortunately, we're losing too many of our heroes, and we're doing these types of shows way, way, way too often. So,
Yeah. The source for this was in the obituary section I think it's in his hometown in Ireland, Northern Ireland. So that's what the source was. And then I wasn't quite sure. So I called around a lot of people, and a lot of friends called around, and it was confirmed by multiple people that indeed who was close to him that he did pass. So
yeah, because it's been almost a month now, and it
yeah,
seems
yeah,
like
yeah.
this was just something that went under the radar. We didn't hear about it, and nobody ever spoke about it. Usually, the internet picks up something. So, um, again, I'm glad we're able to share this. Sad news, however, and all the condolences to his family, his friends. So,
Yeah. And as the sort of news breaks on it says the heart and stroke. So a lot of people saying that it was a heart attack. Look, I don't know the details. I don't want to say the details of this death, but we can sort of see that it was either stroke or heart attack or something like that.
the great
Um,
news is the music lives on, right? So we
exactly.
can
Yeah,
go
yeah,
back
yeah,
and revisit all his drumming, all his recordings. And again, people from that era rate him as one of the best drummers in England and Britain at that time. So,
yep. Gabriel, rest in peace. He says, beyond the realms of death. Killing Machine called Hell Bent for Leather in the U.S. Spot on, Alan. Great album. Sad news from Alexander. K-Man says Beyond the Realms of Death is easily one of the favorites, but his playing is standout on all the albums, particularly how he plays on Unleashed in the East. I agree with that. It's that was actually the drums were actually taken from the show, right? They just kind of redid the vocals as according to what the priest camp said. Uh, and Exciter, the song Exciter is just an incredible song. So, guys, Exciter alone is an amazing legacy. That's what K-Man says. Guys, it's going to be short and sweet. We're just sort of paying our respects, just sort of telling everybody what happened. And rest in peace, Les Binks.
yeah.
Leave your comments.